is about increasing operational profitability through optimizing fleet management with our partner Innovo. And I would just like to add that we're excited because there's actually two big aspects to this, right? One is creating efficiencies for the company, reducing costs and so forth. But in addition to that, it also increases your customer experience. So it's rare that you get a solution that does both of those things. So just kind of a quick overview. So Deliver Pro is the name of the solution that we're talking about today. Create and optimize your delivery routes. You're able to supervise and empower your drivers so they're able to have their mobile device with them, and the customer is also able to see where they are when they're coming in. You're able to handle delivery issues in the field in real time, which is really remarkable. You're able to capture and manage proof of delivery information as well, all from this solution, and deliver high levels of customer service while increasing operational profitability. So it's a very exciting solution. Anybody that has their own fleet, this is something that you really want to pay close attention to. So there's my contact information, my phone number and my email, and you can feel free to reach out to me at any point in time following this particular presentation, as well as the team that I'll be introducing here shortly as well. So a little bit about NSA, for those of you that may not be fully aware who we are. We were founded in 1984. NSA Touch is our personal commitment to the success of our clients. We strive to go above and beyond customer expectation. We have full-time consultants with a minimum of 15 years of SXE and CloudSuite distribution experience. We've been in the field for 22 years. We have the largest support team in the space. Our ERP solutions are for both Infor, SXE, as well as CloudSuite, and we focus almost exclusively on distribution. So our presenters today, I'm really pleased to introduce Drew Maplebeck. He is the Senior VP of Sales, and Robin Marion, who is the president of Innovo. So with that, folks, I'll ask you to take it away.
Brian, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. Excited to walk you through and show you our Deliver Pro product. Again, my name is Drew Maplebeck. I'm here with my partner and president, Robin Marion.
Hey, guys.
Again, along the way, if you have any questions, please enter them in the chat box and we'll address them at the end. I'm going to go through a few PowerPoint slides, and then I'm actually going to show you kind of the day in a router, a driver, the GPS tracking, and everything else. So when we talk about Innovo, if you're familiar with a product called Eclipse from Epicor Eclipse, it's a pretty large distribution system in hard goods wholesaling, electrical, plumbing, HVAC customers. Robin and I and the team here at Innovo are actually original architects, developers, product management team from Eclipse. We started Innovo back in 2012 to launch integrated mobile applications into the Eclipse customer base. 75% of the Eclipse customers use our product today. And we're so excited because we now have integrated that into the Infor world. And we're very excited also for our partnership with NSA. So if we look at our customer base, just to kind of give you a feeling of those 75 customers, we have some pretty significant customers. So our largest customer is Sonepar. They're the largest electrical distributor here in North America with over 1,000 branches. A company called Ajoka, they're our largest plumbing with over 500 branches. And again, they're using, Deliver Pro to build their routes, manage their, their daily deliveries. So when we talk about our Deliver Pro, there's actually 4 pieces to it. The first piece is route. That's where you're going to build and optimize your daily deliveries, your daily routes. Deliver, that's the application that drivers use for the turn-by-turn directions, capturing signatures and photos. Deliver Web is the web portal that allows you to track real-time and historically the route the driver drove, where they stopped, how long they stopped. And the Innovo portal, that's the portal where you control who has access to route, to Deliver Web, to the Deliver applications. So the first piece of this is routing. And for the route, what we do is we're going to pull in all of the available tickets. You can do it same day or the day before, and we're automatically going to build and optimize the routes. And we do that a couple ways, and I'll go through that as I show you how this works live. But the great thing with this is you can deal with things like delivery issues, dealing with scheduled delivery times. And as you move stops around, you can see the impact on the time and the profitability of that. So it's just a really easy way. It reduces, you don't have to have paper, you don't have to sort paper, everything is automated. Once the routes are created, the driver then uses what we call our deliver app. And for the deliver app, that's going to give the driver turn-by-turn directions. It's going to provide real-time estimated delivery times based on real-time traffic information. The drivers can capture signatures and photos, and the photos are the big thing. If a customer says to you, we're missing a photo, the product is damaged, all of those photos will be sent to the customer, but you'll also have full access to them. And also, if the driver has any issues, whether it's a product issue, a delivery issue, all of that is handled through real-time communication. So someone back at the branch is going to get notified of that issue. And one of the big things are the pre and post delivery notifications, which I'll cover here in a few minutes. Also, what we have is Deliver Web. So Deliver Web is actually the web portal that does the real-time tracking of your deliveries. So you can go in here and see the estimated arrival time of the expected arrival time. You can see the driver's route, where they drove, where they stopped, how long they stopped. You can see photos, you can see the signatures, and all the historical information. So if you got a red light ticket from a month ago, you can go in and pull up the route and say, where was the driver at 9:17 a.m. in the morning? And one of the huge things that our customers love are delivery notifications. So today we all get an Amazon delivery notification saying it's going to be there by 8 o'clock. Ours are very specific. There's 4 that we support. The first is when the truck leaves the branch. You can say, hey, our truck just left the branch and our expected arrival time is 7:15 a.m. There's you're the next stop. And we complete stop 1, we send a message to stop 2. You're within X minutes. So for a large project, maybe you want to give the project manager a heads up. If you put in 15 or 20 minutes, when we get within that 15 or 20, we'll send a message. And the last one is your order has been delivered. And with that, we can actually say, send a copy of the signed ticket to show the signature and all of the photos. And again, the photos are key, right? Because it shows everything was delivered, nothing was missing, nothing was damaged. And the customers also, if you want, have the ability to do what we call a track package, which takes them to a live website where they can change the email or phone number where we're sending the messages. They can see the real-time estimated delivery time. There's an option to put in your driver's photo and a driver's name. That's optional. And there's also an option to turn on live mapping. So they can actually say, oh, look at the truck right now is on I-25 and he's going to be here in 8 minutes. Very, very powerful and stops a lot of those incoming calls and all the thrash that goes with where's my delivery? The other piece of this is the Innovo portal. And what the Innovo portal does is it allows you to control who has access to everything, who has access to route, deliver web. If a driver, quits tomorrow, you can go in and remove their access to it. So that's just a quick overview. And now I'm going to walk you and show you how the routing tool works. So when you log in, this is what we call our portal. You'll have different options here, again, based on your authority. And so one you'll see here is route. So I'm going to click on route. And I'm going to come out here and just a couple things. And typically this demo alone would take pretty significant. So I'm going to just kind of focus on the high level points. But a couple of things that you can do with this is I can come in here for a customer and I can say for this customer, first of all, I want to enter their delivery times. When are they open? Are they open all day? Do they close a certain time for lunch? And so when you're building the route, we'll let you know if you're going to make a delivery while they're closed. This also provides the driver access to the delivery times. You also have the ability, if you say, hey, my Maple Leaf Contracting is an A-level customer, I always want their delivery to be at 7 a.m. Or I want a window between 7 and 8 a.m. So when we build the route, we're going to optimize the route, taking into account meeting that scheduled delivery time. And there's also a scheduling screen I'll show you here in a second. You also have the ability to rank your customers. So you can say, this customer is a 4-star. You define those, whether you want to say, gold, silver, whatever, or and that will show in the router when they're building what the rank of the customer is. And we also have something called stop time padding, and that's the time it takes the driver to stop, unload the truck, and capture the signature, because when we're sending those delivery notifications, we want to be very accurate. So for this customer, we've set, add 20 minutes onto their stop time. I mentioned there's also a scheduling window that your salespeople can access. And with this scheduling window, they can go in and, again, put in a specific time or a window of time. And what that will do, again, when we build the route, we're going to optimize the route to meet those scheduled delivery times. When I come into route, now there's a couple different ways that you can build a route. You can base this on ship via. So you can say these, 4 ship vias are route 1, these 6 ship vias are route 2. You can do it based on a postal code. You can say these 3 postal codes are going to be one route, these 4 are another, or you can do it on territory. And my example today is a geographical territory. We're out here in Colorado. So when the router comes out, I'm going to come out here. And because I do some demos, I kind of set all of my tickets to the end of the month. But I'm going to say, as of this moment, go and pull every ticket that's available to be able to route. And the nice thing of this from an implementation perspective is this isn't impacting anything back in Infor yet. I'm simply kind of playing around until I actually create the manifest. I'm not impacting anything. So you'll see right now, I have 25 available deliveries. And if I click route, based on my geographical territories, we're going to build a mountain route, which we have here, a north route, a North Denver route, and a south route. And across the top, you'll see the route. So my route is scheduled to start at 6 a.m. and based on historical traffic, it should finish at 3:41. I can assign a driver to it. I can assign a vehicle to it if I want. It's showing me the total trip miles are 189 miles. It should be 9 hours and 42 minutes and 8 deliveries. And we're also letting you know, oh, by the way, 2 of the products that we've pulled in are missing a weight. So we need to take that into account if we're using industrial mapping and we want to know the total weight of the truck. One of the deliveries is going to be late based on a requested delivery time. And I've got some hazardous items. Again, we're pulling that in from your system. We also give you the ability to identify what we call restricted items. So our customers say, hey, if I've got certain product on the truck or certain quantities of a specific product, let me know because maybe I need a forklift to unload it. Maybe it's a different truck that I want to use. So you can identify restricted items. And also you'll see here, I've got a poor address and some closed deliveries. Over here, what you'll see if I click on here, this lets the router deal with any issues. So I can say, well, show me everywhere I have poor address quality. I can click on this and I can come in and say, well, let's correct that address. So I can click here. And if I know the address is, if I know the address is actually 1200 North Pecos, I can put it here now. The driver will then be geared to this specific delivery point, or I can manually geocode it. So for this delivery, I know that the manually geocoded spot for this is actually going to be over here. So that driver will then be given that specific location to make the delivery. And just a note, the driver also has the ability when they're making deliveries to pin a location. So we use that for future deliveries. So a few of the other things that we allow you here say, well, show me all of my deliveries that are going to be late. Show me all of my deliveries where I have missing weights, restricted item, hazardous items, route violations, business closed. So again, this just allows the driver or the router to deal with any delivery issues. If you click here, we can expand and contract the routes. And if I click on a specific route, now I'm coming into my mountain route. So my mountain route across the top has 8 deliveries and 1 is going to be late. It's 9 hours and 42 minutes and 189 miles. We also have something we call cost per mile, and that's what our customers put in to take into account the truck maintenance, gas, driver time, insurance, things like that. So based on my cost per mile and pulling the gross profit out of the orders from Infor, it's saying our current profit on this route is $3,075.42. From here, you can see here, if there's requested delivery time. So based on this, my first delivery is going to be made at 6:36. My next delivery, although they have a requested time of 7:30 to 8, we're going to be 3 minutes late at 8:03 a.m. I can see here, again, if there's items like I've got some missing weight items, some hazardous items, and you just click on here and we bring you right down and into the order. So you can come into the order and say, well, here's my restricted item, which happens to be wire. Here's my hazardous items. So again, the router doesn't need any paperwork at all. They have access to all of this, right through routing. So now a couple of things that you can do. You can say, well, I'm going to be, the driver's going to take a coffee break today because we're sending those estimated delivery times. So we want to be very, very accurate. So if the driver's going to take a coffee break, I can come out here and the driver can do this themselves and you can free form it, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to let the driver have a coffee break. I've got a gas stop or lunch. Today I'm going to make that 20 minutes. I hit add. And then I decide, where do I want to add that coffee break? Well, I'll add it after my third stop. So we've now added 20 minutes onto the stop 4, 5, 6, onto those estimated delivery times. Now from here, you can just start, and the user interface is just super easy. I can just move things around. So maybe I just got a call from, stop number 6, and they said, hey, can you move me up, to make me stop number 4? So I can just slide that up. And now I've gone to 10 hours and 47 minutes. I'm up to 222 miles, and I drop my route profitability to $2,900. So that's one way you can do it. Another way is you can just click on the sequence. You know what? I'm going to make this my first stop, this my second stop, this my third stop, and you click on this little icon right here, and now we're going to build a route based on how I clicked on it. You can also do that here. I can say, well, I've changed. I'm going to make this the first stop and this the second stop. Sorry, I'm going to make this the first stop. Sorry, it's your mouse's. I'm going to make that. Sorry, I have a new mouse, and there we go. That's the first stop. That's the second stop. That's the third stop. And I just click here, and it's going to reroute the route based on that. And again, you can simply slide things up, and as you slide things up again, each time you do, profitability. A couple of other things you can do is the router oftentimes is going to get a call from your salesperson or get a call from your email from your salesperson, a text. So I can come out here and say, hey, you know what, this needs to be here at 9 a.m. So they can just come in here and put in the scheduled delivery times here, hit save, and again, we'll optimize the route to meet those delivery times. You also have the ability to turn routing off, or sorry, optimization off. So, I built my route, everything's looking really good, but if I come back in an hour and there's 10 more orders, we're going to re-optimize everything to take into account those 10 more orders. So I could just come out here and say, you know what, turn optimization off. So now anything else that comes in is going to be put after stop number 8. The other option you have is say, well, I'm good with optimizing, but I want the first 4 stops locked down because that's what I've got. Those are the scheduled delivery times, so I'm going to lock those down. And then you can do a couple of other things here. You can edit this and say, based on my delivery today, maybe what I want to do is I want to get this out, 15 minutes or 45 minutes early. I want to change the stop time padding. So you can change things here. And also you can come out here and optimize things. So when I look at optimization here, and again, let me just, I got things pretty well optimized, but let's just say that, if I have things like, stop here and, oops, sorry. I move this up here. Now, if I come into optimization, you'll see here I'm at 248 miles. I could say, well, what would it look if I just did it the fastest time? And the fastest time has just dropped it down to 176 miles. It's put my profit back up. It's reduced my time. You also have the ability to reverse load. So some of our customers say, hey, at the end of, I don't want to do the deliveries 1 to 7. I want to do them 7 to 1. So you can reverse them. You can also move your pickups to the last, right? So your truck is leaving the branch, it's full. I want to pick up, anything that needs to be picked up at the end. So you can kind of play around with this and say, if everything looks good, I'm going to, look at that. I'm going to apply that. And I finished building route 1. You also have the ability, just from a user interface, is you can say, well, I just want to look at a couple routes here. So this gives me the ability, if I want to say, just show me these 2 routes, right? So some of our customers have 10 or 15 trucks in a branch. And then the other thing you can do is you can compare these. So if I come out here and I hit compare, what you'll see, if you do two the maps beside, if you do 3 or more of the maps below, but I can see, like, look at this stop number 2. It's right by stop number 8 on my mountain route. So maybe what I'll do here is I'll take this stop number 2 and I'll just slide it down here, right, and move it over to that route. You also could just click on it, say, well, I've changed my mind, so I'm going to just right click on this and I'm going to move that back to my mountain route. You'll also see here, just move this little box. Yeah, you'll also see here I have an outlier, so you can click here. You can also do that here. So I'm going to just click here and say, you know what, I'm going to put this on a new route, and that new route is going to be Bob's F250. And I can assign a vehicle. So if I know there's a certain vehicle that I want to assign this, I can say, this go and pull all the orders that have our truck city in it. I want to assign a specific driver to this and hit create. And now what I've done is I've added a new truck today, and you'll see Bob's F250. So again, I haven't impacted anything at all. So you can play around with this for a week or two, get comfortable, and then say, you know what, I'm going to just start with one route and one driver. So you can click on here, you could hit select all, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to just build these two and hit create. And now what this is going to do is this is going to create what we call the manifest, which is now going to be available for the driver to pull down and capture the turn-by-turn directions. So that's just a really quick overview of our route product. And now I'm going to move over to our Deliver Web product. I'm sorry, to our...
Do you want to go into route summary?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. This is a customer of ours, and I just wanted to show you on the route summary side. So this is a live customer. And one of the things we do with this is I come out here to summary, and we track every route. So you can see here, they still have some in play. But for instance, this route yesterday, right, say had 8 stops, there was none late. The expected distance was 104 miles. The actual was 92, which was 12 miles less than expected. The driver time was 4 hours and 30 minutes, but they were actually 5 hours, right, on that specific route. And you can come out here and say, well, show me all of my routes where I went more miles than expected or more time than expected. And if you come down in here and say, well, look, I was 1 hour and 11 minutes on this. Why was that? And I click here, and this is going to bring up that specific route. Now, over here on the side, what you'll see is a few things. We're showing you that this delivery, so this stop was 27 minutes. This customer's stop time padding is set to 10, so it was 17 minutes longer than expected. This was 3 minutes, which was 7 minutes less. This was 26 minutes. So you can see where some of the times are. And you can see here across the top that they were supposed to be 5 hours and 7 minutes, but they were actually 6 hours and 18 minutes, even though they were 10 miles less in distance. And their profit was supposed to be 48.02. Their profit was actually 48.77. And if you click on here, this takes you into Deliver Web. And on the Deliver Web piece, this is the tracking. So if you look over to the right, there's a little red ball. So the driver at 5:40 a.m. this morning was there going 18 miles an hour. You have the ability to set a flag saying, hey, anytime we're stopped longer than X minutes, I want it flagged across the top. So he was stopped here from 6:11, right, to 6:38, from 6:46 to 7:13. And what you'll see as you look at this ball is the one line, and I'm colorblind, I think this is
Yellow.
Yellow, okay. So the yellow line is the route that it was created, but the dotted line is how the driver actually drove it. And just while I'm in here, I'll also show you that for each stop, we show you what was signed for. So these are the tickets. So this customer, had a pretty large delivery here. There was actually 2. Eva signed for this, and also all of the photos were taken. And this is the real key, aspect of this are the photos, right? So you can come in here and say, there's a lot of photos here. And these photos would have automatically been sent when that customer signed for it. We'd send a copy of that signed ship ticket and all of the different photos that were taken, right, for that proof of delivery. But again, from the routing perspective and a driver perspective, because now I'm saying, well, hey, driver, you were supposed to drive this route, but you went a totally different way. Why were you stopped over here for 45 minutes, right? So there's a lot of, right, accountability that goes along with the driver, once they realize that they're being tracked. So that's an overview of route. And there's a lot more to cover, but those are kind of the key points. And then the next piece of this, what I'd like to show you is our Deliver app. So now that the manifest has been created, the driver comes down into the Deliver app, and you can say that this driver only sees certain manifests, so you can control that. So I'm going to come down here. It says there's no trips selected yet, so I'm going to hit Add Manifest. And I come out here to add the manifest. And again, you can limit this so I only see, based on my driver name or based on ship via my certain manifest. And you can say, well, just show me for a certain driver, or just show me this manifest number here, or you can use your finger to kind of scroll up and scroll down. And I'm going to tap on this bottom manifest right here. And we actually download the manifest onto the mobile device. And the reason we do that is if we lose cell connectivity, the driver can still capture signatures, take photographs, and deal with any delivery issues. The driver can also have multiple manifests. And, halfway through the day, if you need to make a change from the manifest, you can do that back en route. The driver would get notified. You'd notify the driver of that change. They'd accept it, and that would happen. The driver can also move things around themselves, or you can also, there's a messaging within this too. So you can send the driver a message, hey, I need you to grab manifest, 1, 2, 3. They just tap on it, and we'd automatically download that manifest onto their device. When I tap on this certain manifest, it's going to bring me into what we call the pre-trip stop adjustment. So this is letting the driver know, hey, you're expected to start at 5:45 a.m. Here's the deliveries that you have to make. I could see that this is a one-star customer. If you happen to be after the delivery time, if you tap on the little alarm clock, it's going to update everything based on real-time traffic. So my first delivery, I'm out here at Mountain Standard Time, should be at 1:02 p.m. If you tap on an order, it's going to bring you right in here. It's going to show you, the products. It's going to show you if there's hazardous or restricted items. It's going to show you shipping instructions if there's shipping instructions. And the driver can also deal with things. So I mentioned, like coffee breaks. So if the driver knows, hey, I'm going to stop and get coffee or take a gas break, they can click on select these standard breaks. I'm going to have a coffee break. I hit save. Where do you want that coffee break to be? I'll put that coffee break right there. And now we've added 15 minutes onto all of those estimated delivery times. And throughout the day, if the driver needs to make any changes, they can do all of that directly from here. When the driver is ready to start, they hit start. You can pre-assign a truck to them. If you don't and you have this turned on, the driver will simply, what truck do you want? I'm going to take the Boulder semi-truck. What's the current mileage on this? And the reason we capture the odometer reading is if we were to lose 10 minutes of connectivity, we could lose 10 miles. So this is showing the driver, here's what you need to make the delivery on. And the first piece of this would be the navigation. So this simply allows the driver to come out and get turn-by-turn directions. And we offer two options for navigation. One is Google Maps. They're great. They're going to find the location, give you the quickest way there. The other is an industrial mapping tool called Here. Here industrial mapping takes into account the truck's length, height, width, and weight including products. Along with if you have hazardous items in it. So when it's building the route, it's going to take into account tunnels, bridges, things like that. From here, if the driver needs to change the address, they could come out here and change the address. But if everything looks good, it'll be ding, ding, turn right, turn left until you've arrived at the job site. The first thing that could happen when the driver arrives at the job site is there's 10 trucks in front of me. They're going to be 2 hours. I'm going to delay this. I'm going to come back later today, but I'm going to move on right now. So delay would allow the driver to move this down to stop 2, or they can move it down to the bottom and then reorganize it where they want. But again, I'm coming back. Skip means they can't unload my truck. Their forklift is broken. The driver can freeform a reason, or you can define these, unable to load the truck. What this is going to do is this is going to send an email back to someone at the branch that you designate. It could be individual, multiple people, that says, hey, on this manifest on stop 1195, they were unable to load the truck because this order now needs to be removed from today's manifest. Another thing that the driver can do is they can actually pin a location. So they can come out here and say, well, based on this is exactly where I am today. It's not at the front door, I'm at the back garage. And if they hit apply, then we'll save that latitude and longitude. So future deliveries will be made to that specific spot. And then also we have the camera feature, and this is the key feature. So if I click on the camera feature here, this is simply going to pull up my camera. And there is a setting that will not allow the driver, if you want, to not capture a signature without taking the photos. There's no limit to the number of photos that you can take. If there is a problem, I come out here and say, oh, you know what? I am missing this product right here. I can come out here and say, missing, hit save. And when I complete this, that's going to send an email back to someone at the branch saying, hey, for sales order 195 for the plasma torch and fuel, that was missing from today's delivery. And they can also just put in a standard note, hey, Bob wants a call. And again, that would send a message back saying, that Bob wanted a call. If everything looks good, I'm ready to sign. I click on the sign button. I enter in the name. I come out here, I sign, I hit accept. And now we're going to load everything up, the photos, the signatures, and everything up.
And then this all, I was just going to jump in. This all, at this point, well, there's a couple of places if we want to talk about the touch points between our app and Infor. So when the stop is completed, we update the signature, the photos, all back into Infor. We update any comments that were made to the header of the Infor sales order. We, at that point, changed the status from picked to shipped. And then we update the actual delivery time on the order header to whatever whatever time the customer signed. During the route, so the integration points are en route when you bring down the orders. And then when the driver starts the manifest, as soon as he starts the manifest, we actually update that time field on the header of each sales order to the estimated time of arrival. And those get updated back through every time a stop is completed. So you do have that information right at your fingertips. And then you also have that information back in Deliver Web. And then the final touch point is here when we complete the stop, it's photos, signature, comments, changing a status from picked to shipped, and then updating the actual delivery time.
Perfect, thank you. When the driver has finished the stop, we say, are you ready to complete the stop? They can say, no, I want to go back and, make a few more changes, take another photo. But when they're ready to complete the stop, they just click on the stop, and now we take them on to stop 2. And just based on time, I won't go through everything, but just to show you, just one sec. Just to come back out here, when you come out here, we also have the deliver. I'm going to go through a customers in a second, but when I come out here to live, you'll see, here's the current manifest that I'm on. So if a customer was to call me as a salesperson, I could come in here and say, oh, well, look at, we just delivered Albert HVAC, and right now the truck is on his way to Rockies Flats, and we expect it, that he's going to be there at 1:34 p.m. today. So again, everything that, is going on in the field live, we track this through Deliver Web. This is one of our customers. Again, I'm going to go into Deliver Web just to show you a few things. So when you come into Deliver, you'll see a dashboard, live, compare, summary, vehicles, notifications, and settings. The dashboard is where we're showing everything that's current today. Now, this customer's out in the Boston area. It's the end of their delivery day. But if this was, if they still had deliveries going, it would show you the manifest, the driver, the ship vias, what time they started it, how many stops, and how many stops were remaining. You'll come across here and see live drivers. And if I click on live, they still have a couple trucks that are out moving there. There's a flag that says anytime a truck has stopped longer than, X minutes, put it in red. And when I come down to the, down here, what we're showing, these are the completed manifests. As stops get completed today, we put them here. And over here, these are what we call our alerts. So with alerts, what you have the ability, and our customers turn all of these on, so you can turn them all on and report on them, but you can also say, for certain ones, I want to know. So if my driver is speeding more than 20 miles an hour, send me a message. If my driver has missed a requested delivery time, send me a message. If my driver skips a stop, send me a message, or there's a refused order. So these are all of the different items that we track and report on. And again, you can define certain ones, like if the driver's idle for more than 20 minutes, I want to find out why. So it would automatically send you a text or an email saying this driver's been stopped longer than 20 minutes. So you could call the driver. And over here, we'll show you, so I can see here, they exceeded the stop time by 10 minutes on this one. The stop time was over 10 minutes on that one. If I come down here, I can look at my different manifests. And if I click on a manifest, this is going to bring me into that specific manifest. And so again, I went through this a few minutes ago, but what you're seeing here is that this driver pretty much followed, the route that was driven. And again, you can see anytime they stopped, right? And the only thing they did is kind of after stop number, right? After 8, they went a little bit different way than expected. And if you click on any of these, so if I click on stop number 3, again, we're going to bring you up and show you, so in this case is Adam signed, there were 2 orders, right? And here's a copy of, of the photos that we're taking for those specific deliveries. And again, along the side, you can see when we left today, we expected to be there at 4:53. We didn't get there till 4:59. Our stop time was 7 minutes, 3 minutes below. So, you also could come out here to what we call compare and go back historically. So maybe I had an issue back from August the 2nd. I come into August the 2nd, and we're going to pull up all of the orders from August 2nd here in a second. And I can drill in and show you that same level of detail, but we also have a nice compare feature. So you can click on your different routes, and you'll see this customer does a really nice job of keeping their routes very separate. Some of our customers, their trucks kind of interweave. Over here on summary information, there's a lot that goes on with summary. So the first thing that we're going to show you is a breakdown of your drivers. So I can see here, so I know this Patrick gentleman. So in the last 51 days, he's had 537 stops, 7 are late, his average speed and his max speed. Again, here's the alerts that are over here. If I click on a specific driver, and all of this information is downloadable, so you can pull it all out of here. If I click on a specific driver, we're going to show you each day. So I can look, the last time that Patrick was driving was back on the 9th. He was 5 hours and 49 minutes, 10 stops, his average and his max speed. If you click over here on deliveries, we'll show you each day the beginning and ending odometer rates, and also we'll show you average customer stop time. And I mentioned customer, sending those notifications to the customer. So you also have the ability to use average customer stop time. So we look at the last 5 stops, we look at the average stop time. So, in this case, this was an hour, this was 31 minutes. So that's a lot of our customers like to use the average customer stop time. And it's also very interesting because you'll see certain customers, every time I go to First National Develop, why am I always there for an hour? Down here, we'll show you just how he's doing each day. So, on this specific day, what his plan time for arrival was at 7:56. He actually arrived at 7:45, captured the signature at 7:52 and departed. So it just gives you a breakdown of everything. And then over here, there's also, if I come out here on the reports, you can also see a breakdown. So I've got this set to just look at the last 90 days. I can look at, the last 48 hours. I can put in a custom range. So in the last, 90 days, we've made to VMA Electronics 2 deliveries, the number of orders, the average number of line items, the average revenue, and the average profit. Again, pulling this all out of your system. And you can also look at it by ship via. So by ship via, you can say, hey, for this, this in the last 90 days has had 448 deliveries, the average orders, items, right? So it's very interesting when you look at your different, your different routes, that some of them are more profitable than the others. And then for the scorecard, we also have the ability where you can define a scorecard for your drivers. And for that scorecard, there's multiple things we look at: safe driving, meeting customer requested times, driving less miles or taking less time than expected, minimal idle time. So you can set what you want these to be, that they're going to tally up to 100. And then I can come out here and say, well, I'm looking at Matt today. So let's go find Matt. Let's see how Matt's doing. And I come down here and I see, Matt had 4 issues. So let's click on here and see, what his issues were. So again, so he was exceeding his estimated arrival time, or he was exceeding his stop time. So, but each day you can see, what the driver scorecard is. And again, this adds a lot of accountability to the drivers to make sure they're driving the route they were supposed to drive and how they're doing as far as meeting the scorecards. This is where you define your vehicles. So you come out here and you define the type of vehicle you have. And again, depending if you use our industrial mapping tool, it's going to take into account the weight, the max weight with products. And you can pre-assign a vehicle to a route. You can assign it the day of, or the driver can assign it. This is where you set up our notifications. And for the notifications, again, this customer uses them all. There's 4. So when the truck first leaves the branch, when you're the next stop, when we'll be there soon. So if you put in 15 minutes, when we get within 15 minutes, we send a notification. And the last one is, your order has been delivered. And in each one of these, they're including the track package that takes them to the live website where the customer can see the real estimated delivery time. And you can also turn on the map so they can see where the truck is live. And then we have some settings over here where you can define things like the brakes or the reason that you couldn't make the delivery, things like that. So the driver just selects those. So that's what we call our Deliver Web product. And then the last piece of this is our portal. And the portal piece is really just, the ability to come in here and say, who has access to the, to the application. So you come out here, you say, this customer has access to this. And again, if the driver quits tomorrow, you can come in here and say, Bob no longer has access to that. So, so that's the overview. And now I'll open it up to see if there's any questions.
Hey, Drew and Robin. Yeah, excellent presentation. We have a number of questions, which is great. So for sake of, I answered a couple of these in chat, but for sake of the recording, can you respond to what versions of SXC this solution will work for? And how easy is that to migrate up to CloudSuite? And certainly we know it's available in CSD.
So the version of SXC, I'm not sure what the version number is, but all we need is for you to be using the Ion REST APIs. So if that's the case, we can definitely work with an SXC system. And then yes, we support CloudSuite. Was
Excellent.
that
Thank you, Robin.
okay?
Yeah.
Great. And
Yep.
Brian, before we go on to the other questions, we forgot about our last two slides here. So Drew, do you want to talk about
Oh,
some of this stuff? Is that cool?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so from our customers, we get a lot of feedback. As a matter of fact, every enhancement that we make comes from our customer base. And the big thing that we first hear is miles driven. So one of the really cool things is, if I move, stop 6 to stop 2 and I just add 50 miles for an order that's $40, does that make sense? So that reduction in miles. And then the other thing is, that kind of relates to it is a driver accountability, because the driver's now being tracked. You didn't drive the route you were supposed to drive. Why were you stopped over here? And I'm going to get an alert that you were stopped for more than 20 minutes. Why were you stopped there for more than 20 minutes? So that's the big thing our customers tell us, but just visually knowing, because if you're sorting paper, you don't know when you move stops around what the impact is as far as the miles driven. And obviously that has an impact on profitability based on gas and driver time and things like that. And then the customer experience, the meeting of the scheduled delivery times and the ability for the customer to get those notifications, right? They don't have to call you. You don't have to call the driver and call the customer back. That, customer simply says, oh, my delivery is going to be made at 9:17 a.m. And they click on it at any point and they go to the live tracking. So that's a big thing our customers love. One of my customers was doing a tracking, and they have a fairly large branch, but they were averaging over 100 calls a week just saying, where's my delivery? So you can imagine the thrash that caused. And then the last piece a lot of our customers tell us is the warehouse productivity. Because if you're sorting paper and looking the directions up in Google and so and then having to kind of here's a pile and here's another pile, all of that goes away. Just pulling that, it's just instant. It pulls all the orders in. I hit route and the manifest is created. And some of our customers say, hey, you know what? I can literally route 10 of my trucks in 20 minutes and have them out the door. So that's a really big piece of the customer experience. And then just a couple of other things. Robin mentioned the CSD and the SXE. Just so you know how this works, this is software as a service. So basically, we have a one-time configuration fee that covers all of your branches, present and future, and then it's just a monthly subscription per branch. That includes the license, no limit to the number of drivers, routes that you can create. It includes the training and support and all the future upgrades. And again, the nice thing is you can say, I'm going to start with branch 1. And for the first week, I'm just going to kind of play around, but not create a manifest. Then I'm going to start with 1 manifest and 1 driver for a few days. Then add a second driver, a third driver. Great. Now let's turn on branch 2. Now let's turn on branch 3. So it doesn't have to totally turn your world upside down from a project management perspective, an IT perspective. And the cost of benefit is immediate. Just in miles driven, I had one of my customers said, the first week they did over 10% reduction in all of their miles times, the cost of diesel.
It pays for the branch.
It basically says, paid for the branch in the first month. So it's very reasonable. And, certainly you can contact me and I can give you more on the business model. But
all right, Brian. Sorry about that. Thank you.
No worries, guys. Yeah.
All right, we're back.
So thank you for that. So yeah, we got some other questions here. So thank you for the SXE and CloudSuite clarification as well. Does this integrate with GeoTab or any other EL log solution?
Yeah. No, not today. So if you have trucks that require ELD, you will need to still have those that hardware, right? That hardware in the truck. This does not integrate with that today, no.
Okay, great. Also, this is a really good question too. How does the app show the time changes when the route crosses a time zone?
That is a really great question. I bet that happens a lot in like Indiana, Michigan, right? I mean, so yeah, I'm assuming that the iOS device is going to go right into the correct time zone. We base all of our times off of it's what's that, GME, GMT. Yeah, like the global time. So everything that we calculate is based off of global time. And then we're going to when we send a notification, it's going to be whatever time the device is in. So the timing there should be, should all match up. When you're looking at Deliver Web, all of that time is going to display where that machine is located, right? Where your laptop or your computer is located. So everything's going to be local time to the users and the device. And I think that would work out just fine. We just haven't had an example like that.
But
So
we have
I love the
customers-
question.
yeah, we have customers across multiple zones.
We
so
do, yeah.
an issue with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But great question.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, they keep coming in here, guys. So
Nice.
what if you schedule all branches from one branch? I mean, you can do that, correct?
Well, you can yes, you can. So, when you're in route, you're going to see a branch drop down. So you're going to pick the branch you're routing from. You may have a couple scenarios where, we have some customers that have a different router in each branch, right? We have some customers that just route, they have one router where they just route, branch by branch. And then we have some customers where they're delivering from, one branch, but the material's coming from a different branch. So that's a cross dock situation. So I would say, our larger customers, they have a router in each branch. Our smaller ones may just have the one router that handles all branches.
Okay, great. Yeah, and they keep coming here. So another good question here. Do you have a GPS solution for the vehicles as well, or are you simply tracking based off delivery times?
We are tracking off of the device that's in the truck. So basically, you can have all of our apps work on Apple with Android coming in the future. So you can have an iPhone, an iPad. I would say 75% of our customer base uses iPhones. So you can have an iPhone, an iPad in the truck, and we're tracking your GPS based upon that device. So everything, where the location, we're even doing, idle time, right? We're tracking everything from the device, the iPad or the iPhone in the truck itself.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. So a few more questions here. So how quickly can people be up and running using your apps?
That's a great question. And so basically what we do is, you sign the contract, you become our customer. We do some server work on your system. We're just setting up the different API keys and our the APIs and everything to connect to us. That piece doesn't take long, can be, finished in a day. And at that point, we offer a 3-part training series just to get you kind of familiar with, how our products work, and you can bring in routers, you can bring in drivers. So, we have a customer going on right now. They started today and they'll be done by tomorrow and up and running. So it can be, really as quick as you want it to be. The software is easy to install. There is no software. Our configuration is easy to set up. The training, it's as fast as you want to go, and you can do it, however you want, and bring, you can start with just the routing piece and then contact us and have a deliver training in a couple of weeks. It's really, really up to you, but it can be fast if you want it to be.
Oh, great. Thanks, Robin. I love this next question. How long does it take for people to see the ROI of using the apps?
Yep, great question.
Well, again, we track a lot with our customers, and our customers have told me that literally within a week. Because, and I guess it kind of depends, but a lot of our customers start with paper. So the first thing is just having that paper gone, the benefit there. But the big thing is the miles, right? Because as you're building the routes, we're going to tell you, hey, right now, if we optimize this, we can, shave 100 miles off this. You're moving stops around, you're adding that back on. So the big thing is the mileage and the gas. And that basically what a lot of customers tell us in a week they've paid for the.
Yeah. And then the driver accountability, right? Because on a map, in the live view, we didn't have any live manifests at the moment, but you can literally follow the driver as they are driving. We update it every 80 meters. So you can see the truck moving, right? You can see where he's going, if he's stopping somewhere he's not supposed to stop at. So, even just that alone, the drivers, become accountable, miles or less.
And those incoming phone calls, and I'm sure, you can answer that better. How many calls do you get at your branches today saying, where's my delivery? And what's that process? Do you call the warehouse manager? He calls the driver calls back, you call the customer back. The whole pre-notifications have solved so much for so many of our customers.
Absolutely. And I also imagine that depending on the size of your fleet and how long the routes typically are, how many stops each route, is, that certainly impacts the ROI pretty heavily as well.
Absolutely. Yep. And then even with driving, we're reducing miles. There's less overtime needing to be paid to the driver. So there's a lot of different benefits. Yep.
Excellent. One other question I have is, how do most companies typically roll out your product across their company?
So most people start with one branch, right? The biggest thing is getting, buy-in from all the players, right? So they start with they start with like maybe their, CDC or maybe a smaller branch, but they start with one branch. They get the routers comfortable, they get the drivers comfortable, they kind of get an SOP. And then, we have, maybe then they'll turn on the second branch, and in a couple of weeks, they're like, all right, can you turn on the rest of my branches? We're ready to go. So it's pretty easy for the drivers to learn, for the routers to learn. I mean, things just make sense. So yeah, that's how they typically do it. Start with one branch, and then, and you fund, from that one branch's ROI, you're funding the rest of your branch rollout. So it can be, pretty easy. And, and one of the things that like we believe in train the trainer, and we've seen so much success, like getting your, those drivers comfortable at the branch, and then they kind of, help everyone else along. So we just try to make everything super easy. We developed all of our apps, and we started in 2012 when mobile technology was not, familiar to everyone. So we really, really try to make a point to make this as easy as possible.
Excellent. All right, that's all the questions I have at the moment. I'd like to give everybody just maybe one more minute. Anyone that's got any other questions, please enter it into chat. And while we're waiting on that, I would like to thank Robin and Drew and Ken as well, the folks from Innovo. They've been a phenomenal partner of NSA. We're delighted to add this solution to our NSA Plus deck. We see huge ROI here for anybody that's got their own fleet. And we haven't seen anything else like this in the Infor world. So we're excited about what this can bring. I've already got a couple of folks that are attending today's session that have already said that they're very excited about next steps with you guys as well.
Awesome. And we're so excited to be working with you, Brian.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
You bet. Well, I don't see any other questions, so we will give you another 8 minutes back of your day. And again, I'd like to thank Drew, Robin, and Ken for a tremendous session. We will be delivering, again, this recorded session to all attendees. That should be going out within the next 24 to 48 hours. I do think we have one more question coming in. If we want to just wait 1 minute here.
And one thing to just know for you guys, like we love ideas, questions, suggestions. I mean, our products, we just put out actually a big release this week. All of our releases, all of our features and enhancements are completely customer driven. So we love building software and working with you guys on how to make it better. Just to put that out there.
Excellent. Yeah, I guess we're done with questions. I thought we had one more coming in, but I guess we don't. Yeah, thank you guys for attending today's session. Please reach out to Drew. There's his contact information on the screen, or myself. Either way, it's fine. We'll make sure that we get your questions addressed. And if you've got specific questions about your environment, happy to answer those, and make sure that we get you pricing specific to your situation, and love to see what we can do about getting some additional SXC and CloudSuite clients on board.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, bye. That's right.